Hey guys, so Charlie Kirk went to campus and a guy confronted him on Israel and Palestine and his stance on it and got into a pretty heated debate. And I think Charlie pretty much embarrassed him. Check it out.
Hey, what's up, Chart? I was going to ask you, you think that Israel should displace the Palestinians from Palestine to Egypt and Jordan?
It's a tough question. I will say this, guys. I'm happy to do the whole afternoon on Israel, but let's try to get at other questions. But
that's what I'm. That's
I'm
what
not
I'm
blaming you. I'm just saying to the audience.
Yeah.
It's a difficult question. I don't know what the solution is. I don't.
So you think it's right for them to?
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying the solution is very difficult because the people of Gaza have shown that they are incapable of self-government.
Sure.
Incapable. That when they are given self-government, it becomes a terrorist hotbed, and it becomes a nightmare for the Jewish people, and war ensues. So I don't know what.
Right. But my question here is: do you think it's ethnic cleansing to forcibly tell them to get out of Gaza?
Again, I'm not even saying I support
it. Because this is what Trump said.
I know what Trump said. I'm not even saying that I think that's a good idea. I do want someone to tell me what the solution is, though, because that's an idea.
Yes, Egypt actually offered the solution, but Trump was against it.
What would you say the solution is?
The solution is to have an Arab state to govern them, basically, and for Hamas not to be in control. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So we had
Egypt's plan for Gaza is essentially just rebuild it and give it over to the Palestinians to then elect Hamas to essentially repeat the process again. Egypt doesn't have a plan for Gaza. They want Palestinians, the Palestinian problem, so to speak, to continue in order to be able to use as pawns to attack Israel.
Something close to that, though, for years, where Gaza was controlled by Hamas. Gaza democratically elected Hamas.
In 2006, that's correct. But they weren't able to democratically elect again after 2006. That's correct.
Because the people liked it.
It's not because people liked it. It's because they didn't have any other choice but to do that.
We don't know. You might be right. I might be right. I think I'm right. Let me tell you why.
Okay, why?
Because the terrorists went and killed a bunch of Jews on October 7th.
Yes, I know that a lot of people were happy to see. Yes, and why?
Not only happy. I mean, you had civilians, so-called civilians, in civilian clothing, going across the border and participating in these atrocities.
Why is that? Why is that? Because it didn't start on October 7th. It didn't start on October 7th.
Yeah, but this is where we're going to disagree.
Okay.
So I look at things in the term of right and wrong,
sure,
and just and unjust, not oppressor or oppressed. A different worldview that could be on the left, not saying you are, would say, hey, the people of Gaza.
Yeah, I voted for Trump, by the way.
No, I'm not saying that. For sure, great. We just might not agree on this issue. The people of Gaza, some people would say, hey, it's been a bubbling up problem. We're going to justify what's happening on October 7th. We look at that and we say it's never acceptable to go and kidnap and to go cut throats, unprovoked, unprompted.
Sure, it's against international law. And I believe that Israel as well, like where they did a lot of things that were against international law as well.
Well, I don't quite know what that would mean, but yeah, I mean,
war crimes
such as
mass people.
Yeah, man, it's just, again, I don't want to keep going in circles, but it's like I can't see a single instance of Israel going out of its way to kill civilians.
You don't see it in a single instance of what?
Israel going out of its way to kill civilians. I see Israel going out of its way.
So you don't believe what they've done is genocide?
No, of course not. Because let's get our terms. Let's just go. What is genocide?
A genocide is mass a certain group because of their ethnicity, race, or culture or religion.
So was October 7th a genocide?
It wasn't a genocide, no.
By your own definition.
Yeah, let me tell you why. Because the ICJ now is investigating Israel. They're not investigating Hamas for genocide, if you know that.
Who?
The ICJ?
Yeah, the ICJ is anti-Israel, has been for a while.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure they are. Why do you say that?
Well, because they're funded largely Arab.
Funded by who? Funded by who? Hamas?
He's like shaking. He's like so crazy right now. He's like tweaking out while, Charlie's just trying to have a normal conversation.
By Qatar and Saudi Arabia and by very wealthy Gulf dictatorships. But hold on. You're trying to say that Hamas was not investigated for what happened on October 7th?
Hamas is not being investigated by the ICJ of doing a genocide. Yes, that is
Have you watched the videos?
I have watched the videos. Yeah, I feel like
you saw. Did you see the one where the And when they were laughing, you saw that one.
Sure. I think Hamas, what they've done was barbarism. I think
How is there?
Exactly. That sort of pause was not me. It was actually just a video. I'm assuming he said something, some sort of curse word.
Not a war crime then.
I think Hamas is a terrorist group. I really think they are. But that doesn't justify what Israel has done so far. That's all I'm saying.
Well, again, there's two separate things, but everything Israel did was
As of what, October 7th, you believe that the Mossad, for example, is one of the biggest agencies in the world. It might be even better than the CIA, right?
Yes and no. I don't think they're nearly as effective as people think they are, and I can prove it to you. But
let me just prove my point, please. So what I'm trying to say here is that basically the Mossad knew about the attack from Hamas because they only had like Chinese bicycles, bikes and stuff like that to go in. So what I think is that basically the Mossad, they knew about
Chinese bicycles. They went in with drones, with freaking, you had what are those things called? You had I don't know, things from the air, whatever. You had drones. They came in from the sea. They came in, with literally just battering rams and tractors through the thing. They came in the thousands. They were not Chinese bicycles. They came in on motorcycles, real motorcycles. These are not Chinese little bicycles. They were heavily armored. They came in, literally from multiple directions. I think they broke the fence in 178 places. 178 places. So, no, it was not Chinese bicycles that they came in with.
this attack because Hamas basically is Israel's biggest asset. If Hamas wasn't there, they would have not killed anybody. So I think
I just want to make sure I understand your argument. There's one part of the argument.
Think about how crazy that is. Somehow Israel is blamed for the very thing that it's trying to end and destroy. So Hamas is Israel's biggest asset. Israel's biggest asset. That's his genius fucking argument.
Argument is asking, did Israel know? And was there a stand down order? I asked that question, never gotten an answer. You're going a step further.
We don't have proof.
And hypothesizing that the Mossad, which is their CIA, wanted it to happen.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's insane.
Why do you think it's insane?
So you think that Mossad, which are Jews, wanted 1,300 Jews to die?
They didn't know that 1,300 people would die, but they wanted to see something so that they can be able to actually attack Palestine.
Got it. So we're just not going to agree because you have a much lower view of Jewish people than I do.
No, I believe in Israel's right to exist too.
No, I know, but what you're saying is that the Jewish leadership of Mossad wanted the Hamas to attack.
Yes, because what I'm trying to tell you is that they had homemade drones too. Hamas had homemade drones that they used. Okay, so how are they not able to see all of that happening? Is all I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, first of all, part of it is a legitimate question, but getting to as far as saying that must be the case, it's a big leap. It was a holy day,
sure,
right? Which is very important. It was Shabbat, sure, which is 90% of IDF troops aren't there. But let me just kind of close on a moral point, then a question. Number one, Hamas did not go after military targets.
Yes,
they went after civilian targets.
That's correct.
Inexcusable. Number two, though,
that's what they were able to put their hands on.
Let me ask you a question. Who do you think there's a good guy or a bad guy?
That was all that they couldn't make it to the military targets. This is this guy's argument. They couldn't reach the targets. They had to go for the civilians to make a statement. They were just closer to the border. That's the only reason they went for civilians. Bro, they kidnapped 200, 300 hostages, 200 to 300 hostages. Yeah, that's all they were. No, it was a coordinated plan to attack civilians. Obviously, otherwise they wouldn't have kidnapped civilians in the hundreds.
The equation of Israel versus Hamas.
As of who?
I'm asking, which one do you think is good, bad, better, or worse?
I think Hamas is bad. I think what the Israel government is doing is bad as well. That's why we don't have an agreement.
So let me ask you just a hypothetical, and I don't mean to be interruptive.
Sure.
What should Israel have done in response to 1,300 people in the most horrendous way?
To target Hamas members in a better way, to not mass
What is a better
people.
way? Explain what that looks like.
Well, there's a reason why they have special forces. There was a reason why they have the best military. There's a reason why they have the best military equipment in the world so that they'll be able to target Hamas members.
This guy has no inkling of what it looks like when you're attacking not just a terrorist group, a massive armed militia. You're talking about tens of thousands of fighters in Hamas, thousands of rockets. You have insane weaponry from Iran, Russia, and even through the pipeline, China, Qatar. You're not looking at just a band of wayward, just random fight. Like, this is a real organization. You can't use special forces, of which there are probably maybe a few thousand, to take out an entire terrorist organization. Anybody that tries to make that argument is so ignorant of warfare. It's unbelievable. Oh, just send in special forces and they'll just kill all Hamas. Like, no, it's not how it works.
Yeah, but they did all of that, and so I never get a concrete answer. So what I just want is I'm not going to defend everything that every IDF soldier ever did, but I find it so interesting that everything that Israel does gets so hyper examined through this lens that no other country ever gets held to the standard of, ever.
Nobody does anything like Israel. With Palestine, yeah.
You believe that no other country does what Israel does?
With Palestine, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, who else? Tell me.
You think that I want you to just pause. You think that from the African civil wars,
has anybody done anything worse to the Palestinians more than Israel?
Yeah, a lot of people have, actually. Like the internment camps throughout China for the Uyghur Muslims, or the North Korean open air concentration camps.
Well, basically, they didn't commit genocide.
Yeah,
they didn't want ethnic cleansing.
Let me just close with this.
Right?
It's unbelievable. There's no time for the rest of this debate because it's just going to be a spewing of stupidity, and they're not going to go anywhere. I actually watched the rest, and basically Charlie was like, "We're not even on the same. You're here and I'm here, meaning we have two different realities, and you're not, on the same moral." Ground as me. You have a completely different outlook on morality in general. But I will say that for their credit, the pro-Palestinian side is very smart in the sense that they take a very extreme position and they continuously push it into your head. Like, think about it. Israel committing a genocide? No, it's just not happening. It's just not true. It's not even close to being true. But because they take such an extreme position, you're forced to defend that position, and by the time you defend that position, that's already a loss. Meaning, the fact that you even have to defend the fact that Israel is not committing a genocide shouldn't be in the conversation because it's not even on the same level or close to being on the same level of a genocide. And that is really the genius of the pro-Palestinian movement. They take extreme stances. We're going to take the whole Israel. This is happening, and Hamas is and resistance, and Israel is committing a genocide, and all this other stuff. And you might think they're crazy. You might think they're losing their legitimacy, but they keep on pushing it into your head that it's a genocide, it's a genocide, it's a genocide, to the point where it becomes part of the conversation and a mainstream view to hold. And I think it's genius. I think it's very scary. And I think that on our side, we have to say, okay, you're going to take extreme positions. We're going to take extreme positions. From now on, Gaza is Israel. The West Bank is Israel. Maybe we'll give you a little strip of land on the end of the, maybe we'll give you 2 feet of land so you can have a little farm, Maybe we'll give you a little bit of land. Maybe we'll allow you to go back to Jordan or go back to some other Arab country and get out of our way. But, we're not giving away land. We're not capitulating. We're not ending the occupation. No, we have to take extreme positions in order to essentially emulate what they're doing, in the sense that if we take the West Bank tomorrow or Gaza tomorrow, then we can say, okay, we'll be nice and give it back. Not, oh, we're not going to give you back Jerusalem or Tel Aviv. Maybe, we're probably not going to give you back the West Bank. We're probably not going to give you back Gaza. You have to move the goalpost so that you have more leverage in the negotiation. Trump talks about this all the time. For more, subscribe to the channel. If you want to help us make more of these videos, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. Thank you, and have a good one.